Howdy, I'm Jo from Spaghetti Agency. This is Todd from Spaghetti Agency. We're both directors. Todd's responsible for fixing everything and the IT side of things, as well as the marketing and sales.
Yep, Jo's in charge of spotting everything that's wrong with the business, including everything that I do, because you're a meticulous, down to the details kind of person. So we've been going about 10 years,
Yeah.
But we actually started with training. That was our thing when we started.
Yeah, we both really enjoy training, so we started off doing that. COVID and the lockdowns sort of made a bit of a dent in that. We decided to move more into the retained services. So now the majority of what we do is creating content for retained clients on a monthly basis. But then we also do things like website projects where we help people with their content and that side of things.
Spaghetti Agency's approach to marketing is no ball, just beef, because I think that's why we started the business, wasn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of cowboys out there, but not the right kind of cowboys.
Yeah.
Kind of ripping people off a little bit, making money out of them, onto the next client, onto the next client, onto the next client, not necessarily focusing on the quality that we like to stick to, and not necessarily focusing on the client relationships that are really important to us. So we wanted to be different, and hopefully we achieved that with our brand.
The other key thing about Spaghetti Agency is we walk the walk. So if you look at our marketing, if you look at our social media, if you look at our branding, like, we really mean it. And I look at a lot of other marketing agencies, but you're just not walking the walk. Your social media sucks, and your email marketing is rubbish, and you're not blogging enough, and your website doesn't rank on Google. And I thought there must be a better way of doing it. So everything we deliver to our clients is something that we do for ourselves, and most of our clients really, really value that, and that's actually why they choose us.
We partnered with Magnetar IT to help us implement the Zoho system. Having Magnetar IT as our partner in this has been absolutely invaluable. I don't think we'd have had the time to have done it by ourselves. I don't think we'd have had the knowledge to have done it by ourselves. So originally, when we started the business about 10 years ago, we started with MailChimp, which I think is pretty okay when you're starting out and you don't maybe have a large list or you don't really know what you're doing. Then we had a problem with MailChimp and our data because somebody reported our email as spam, and unfortunately they stopped us from emailing our entire list. I think it was really important to us when we did this project that we had all of the apps in the same sort of suite and that everything would integrate properly with our CRM. So that's why we decided to go for the campaigns option with Zoho. So all of the emails that we do at the moment are all based on templates, basically because it makes our life easier, and it's also quite nice for the people who are receiving them to know what they're expecting, and to have that familiarity of our brand. We purposely decide not to go too crazy with the design on our emails because we want them to be really all about the content and about the copy. We send two different things every week. We send our blog, which is our weekly update on what we're doing, something useful from the world of marketing, something that will help our audience. And then on a Friday morning at 6 o'clock in the morning, we also send the Friday Digital Roundup. We've been sending that email since we've been going, really, and it's a quirky look at the world of digital, and it involves a lot of funny stories, and people tell us they really like it. Not a bye-bye, here's our sales pitch, buy our stuff kind of email. It's very much more along the lines of being entertaining and helpful. The user-friendliness of campaigns is really good. We didn't actually set up the templates because our IT partner Magnetar did it all for us, and they created it all, handed it over, and we could literally just put the copy in and start sending straight away. So that was a really helpful thing for us to have. In terms of if we change anything, so for example, at Christmas we'll change the Friday Digital Roundup heading to a Christmas themed one with, you know, various little illustrations of Christmas trees and things. It's very easy to do. I'm not massively technical. I understand enough, but I would say that sometimes I worry about the technical side of things, but I don't have a problem with campaigns. Happy to change an image, happy to change a link, happy to put the wording in, change the wording, edit the wording, send it, choose a list. It's pretty easy to use, and I'm really comfortable with it now, and it hasn't been that long. The back end of the subscribing process is something that it just takes care of itself, but obviously we can look at the lists, we can take people off if they want to be removed. Why they'd want to do that, I really don't know, because it's great. And we can sort of keep a track of the numbers going up or what's happening with open rates and clicks and things like that. What I do like doing sometimes is if we have mentioned something that we're actually promoting, like if we're attending an expo or talking somewhere, sometimes I'll go through and see who's clicked on that link, and I might send them a separate little email or a phone call or some sort of message to say, I noticed you clicked on the link, is that a slip of the finger, or is it something that you're actually interested in? Do you want to have a chat about it? So there's lots of different ways that we can use the data, but make it more personal rather than just being a faceless company. So every Tuesday we have a directors meeting, and in that meeting we look at all the sort of key metrics that we're interested in for that week. So we tend to look at the subscriber numbers, just check that everything's going in the right direction. If there's a particularly interesting campaign, we might have a look through and actually click through into the detail, see who's had a look, just because we're curious and nosy and we like to know that sort of information. So we have an automated onboarding series. So when somebody signs up, it triggers a series of emails with an interval in between them. This is basically a really good introduction into Spaghetti Agency. We let them know a little bit more about us and our story, why we're here, who we help, let them know about the various different services that we offer, and we let them know roughly on the price points as well. So I think it's quite important for them to have a good idea of who we are and what we do, and roughly where they would sit as a client, depending on what they want. So because we're quite a busy agency, we do quite a lot of different things. So some of them might want training or consultancy, some people might want us to do everything for them, or they might sit somewhere in between the two. So when people are onboarded onto our email, it's quite good for them to have an understanding of who we are and what we do and how we can help them. So we run a Facebook group called Spaghetti Besties. It's very much an informal networking, chatting type group for people to meet and offer support to each other and get help. Maybe they might want a referral, they might need to know where the nearest graphic designer is, anything like that. So it's there's about 3,000 people in there, so it's quite a nice little community. When people join that group, we do a little bit of data gathering, so we'll get their email address and we'll find out what, if anything, they're having any specific problems with in terms of their marketing. That data gets fed into the CRM, and then we can also add them to the onboarding email sequence from the CRM. So it's really good to be able to just tick a box and know that those emails will go to those people in the right order, in a tailored way, so we know the information that they're getting, and they know a little bit more about us as well. I'm pretty confident that all the privacy and GDPR boxes are ticked when we use campaigns. There's a very easy unsubscribe button. If anyone for any reason would like to unsubscribe, then they can do, and we know that we've gathered all the data in the right way.